Hunters, the rotations I called 2 weeks ago have started playing out, and exactly as I expected. I saw these big rotations happening in healthcare, as well as some insurance companies which have performed pretty well, such as Chubb, and also I invested in Goodyear tires. Now, the tech industry continues to wobble, even though we had decent earnings from Nvidia. We had significant resistance on Friday and Thursday, and a bit of a further sell-off in the markets. I've seen today some new opportunities. I have AT&T, which I want to cover here on this during this video, and I want to cover Constellation Brands, which I think could be a nice swing trade if the breakout is confirmed fully and we get some further confirmation on my personal strategy. Right. First thing I want to do, though, is I want to do a quick snapshot of the market. Okay, so quick snapshot of the market. As you can see, tech not doing so well, but Google picked up last week considerably. And in the last 1 day, so 1 day change here, we've seen overall increases. I would probably look at more of the monthly here. And as you can see, health tech performing really well. Producer manufacturing, strong defensive plays. We've seen a number of consumer durables as well picking up here, but not as much as we would have expected. And energy has been pretty well with Exxon Mobil gaining 3.2%. So there are rotations happening, but I don't think they're happening as aggressively as we expected. In some sectors, in other sectors, much, much better. It's about picking the right opportunities and the right stocks. Crypto, on the other hand, I'm going to quickly go here to crypto. We'll go to Bitcoin. Bounced over the weekend a little bit. We saw this deeper drop on crypto to around 82, 81,000. I'm mainly talking here about Bitcoin. And for me, it's nowhere near a reversal. So we have to be very, very cautious in terms of buying opportunities here. As you guys can see, the short opportunity still looks quite nice. Resistance has been found here. And with my community members, I did mention to them that the risk-reward ratios are very, very nice on these levels on the short side. And I would only be looking for the swing on the long side. So short side, we can get these kind of continuation plays if we go there, but I'm going to cover that a little bit later. Retail stocks are breaking down, but I have seen some companies like Starbucks perform fairly well because of the rotations, and I think Starbucks could be a nice play this week alongside AT&T and Constellation Brands. Now let's go into those sector rotations that I mentioned and some of the ideas I have today. I think the first one we should cover is Starbucks. So I really like the fact that we've had multiple buy-ups around this zone of 77 to about 82. So a couple of times on the 82 zone, a couple of times around that 77 area. I feel like this is the key pivot point now around this 85 level. Yes, we could get a little bit of a dip and this could go even further. So we're being very, very cautious here to make sure that the rotation happens and the probabilities are in our favor for this move up. I see potentially a 1 to 3 risk-reward ratio on this one. I think that's pretty good for me with my win rate. And it's also a nice level around here, around 87 if it breaks. To then come back up to around this zone. So we're almost guaranteed a 1 to 2 once we get the breakout. As long as the rotation happens and it's showing some momentum here, which at the moment, every time it tests this zone, it shows rejection. And my plan is when it breaks this zone to enter with a high probability trade of a 1 to 2, potentially a 1 to 3. Then we have AT&T, so that'll be just ticker T. So after this significant sell-off here, there's two scenarios that we get here, and I think I've put the circle here for that reason during my call with my Discord members. And it was mainly because there is that potential of this coming back down around this zone for a retest here again, maybe doing a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders, and then we get the move higher. At the moment, I like the area here, and I would be looking maybe a little bit of a dip like that rather than this, because this would mean that we would have to rebuild structure around December. But maybe a tiny bit of a dip here today, or breakout. One of these two would be the trades. And this again would be maybe a 1 to 1.5 and then a 1 to 2 point, 1 to 4 actually on this trade if we go all the way back up. I think if we go anywhere, it would be around this zone of 1 to 3 here, just because it's a dense rejection zone here. I'll show you guys really quickly, like around, just around here, maybe a little bit higher there. That'll be a 1.1 to 2.8, 1 to 3 risk reward, depending on where we enter. But around a 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Not too bad for rotation play. Telecoms is, like I said, picking up a little bit, and it could be a nice short-term trade, maybe a couple of days, a few weeks maximum, until we rotate back into risk-on assets. The other one that I wanted to cover is Constellation Brands. I've been monitoring this one for a while now, on the way down, just trying to find where the reversal is. I haven't traded it. I'm just looking at the setup. Just quickly going to cover here the setup. As you can see, keeps on selling, but it looks at that. It looks at like it's at its final stage of sell-off. We've had this further downside. I think we had also a bullish divergence on the RSI, which I don't have the RSI here on this chart at the moment. We had a bullish divergence developing. We have the breakout from this consolidation zone, and the play for me would be somewhere around here. I'll just draw the stop loss. 1 to 1.8, potentially a 1 to 3.6. Just depends on the kind of momentum that we get into Constellation Brands, if we get any. And that's why the first thing I'm watching is how do we react to the breakout or the test of that zone. We've also had a bit of a breakout here, an initial breakout on Friday. Today could be a continuation of that, going into this a new level, retesting this zone of 144. So previously I had an alert here around 145, 144, just because I thought that now we could be developing a move, or around that time in September, I thought we could be developing a move due to the late September sell-off. That failed, and it never even triggered the alert, so I never even looked at it. As you can see here, they had this alert, and today I have an alert here. If it does trigger it, I think the probabilities are very, very high that we're going to get a move at least at a 1.146 level. I'll just delete this one, and yeah, potentially even higher with a 1 to 3 risk reward, which for me is pretty decent, especially for a sector rotation play. It's not really a tech play, momentum play. It's a trend reversal as well. It is going to find some resistance on the weekly and the monthly charts because of this significant sell-off in the last, I'd say, last year and a half. Since April last year. So yeah, I'm looking at this one for a bit of a move. And again, it kind of, even if it does a mean reversion move to this zone or the midpoint's here and a little bit further, and it rejects, I still get my 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. The really bullish side would be we end up doing something like this, and my strategy keeps on holding until we end up moving all the way into Feb. I doubt that's going to happen. Like I said, it's more of a short-term play, couple days, couple weeks to gain something out of the current market conditions. Right, so you have 3 ideas there. You have AT&T, you have SBUX, and you have Constellation Brands. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe. Also, in the description of the video, you have a link you have links to all of my social medias, as well as the Discord group. The Novice Hunters group is only £15 a month. And there you'll get my daily watch list, which is handpicked by me, as well as free ideas or ideas that are included. And you're going to get everyday market analysis on S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell, gold, Bitcoin, crypto in general, and my macro analysis, which will give you a nice guide in terms of where I'm positioning myself as a swing trader and what I'm seeing at the moment in the markets. I have been cash in crypto since the 22nd of September. There were a few plays I made during that period, but nothing serious. The momentum died out around that level, and I've been very, very clear with my community members to preserve capital and protect themselves, or short if you're going to short during this period, and then wait for the next move up. That's an example of crypto. I've done the same thing with stocks and other sectors, and been able to give you guys some amazing ideas in that community. So go and join that community, try it out. See if you enjoy the ideas and the opportunities I provide, and then we can take it. You can take it further there by entering the Apprentice Hunters community. Only if you want to see my trades with complete transparency, entry, exits, everything, as well as weekly reviews of those ideas. Right. So all I will say, last words. Be careful in this environment. There are going to be some ups and downs. There are levels that I'm looking at on the S&P 500, which I'll cover tomorrow, most likely, or in the Discord group. And hopefully one of these, or a couple of these ideas that I shared today break out and we get some decent wins while there are sector rotations happening. Take care.